I think silver, if you do a ratio of silver to gold, go back 50 years and let's say every year plot the highest level that silver was in relation to gold during that year on a percentage basis. What percent is silver expressed as a per ounce of gold? Right now, silver is like 1.2 something plus 1.2%. But if you go back 50 years, the number of years in that 50-year period where we've been up to 2% or 3% is almost normal. It's not like an aberration. So good grief, if gold went to even just 8,000, another replica of its prior ratio moves, and silver were to go to 2%, you do the math. Wow. So silver is definitely the one that we're focused on. Fast for participation. Yeah, gold's the mama market, but silver is the dynamics are far greater on a percentage basis.
Analyzing both historical trends and current market dynamics, it becomes increasingly evident that gold and silver are positioned for substantial upward movements. Over the last 50 years, gold has consistently proven itself as a reliable hedge during periods of economic uncertainty, and present conditions suggest we may be on the brink of another significant bull run. Given the many catalysts in play, from geopolitical instability and central bank actions to shifts in global economic policy, many market experts, mainly MichaelOliver, are forecasting a dramatic escalation in gold's price, with $8,000 or higher becoming a plausible target over the next 12 months. As we move through 2024, gold is increasingly reaffirming its position as a premier safe haven asset, drawing the attention of investors seeking protection from mounting economic risks. The current environment mirrors past cycles in which gold prices soared, often during periods of economic turmoil and inflation. Historically, these upward price movements have been prolonged, with many bullish phases lasting up to a decade. Silver is increasingly drawing attention alongside gold, as market indicators point to a significant breakout on the horizon. Historically, the silver-to-gold ratio has fluctuated between 2 to 3% over the last 50 years, but today, it stands at an unusually low 1.2%, signaling that silver is heavily undervalued relative to gold. This discrepancy suggests that silver could be poised for a sharp upward correction, potentially mirroring the dramatic surges seen during previous bull markets in 1980 and 2011. Suppose silver follows a similar trajectory as it has in the past. In that case, analysts believe it could experience rapid growth, potentially doubling in value within a short time frame, similar to its previous explosive rallies. This could push silver beyond $100 per ounce in the next major bull run. Now, we present the clips of MichaelOliver's insights from his recent interview. Before we continue to discuss this, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates.
If you take the swing moves in gold, the past couple bull markets, the last 50 years, and do the same thing again with good $8,000 gold just to match them, in terms of log ratio scale move, those moves lasted a decade or so. Either, ours started in late 2015. So, another year or so wouldn't shock me. We're $8,000 or even higher. There's so many events out there that are going on that are fundamental and technical that this time around it's likely to be exceptionally dramatic. And so, like you pointed out, silver, it did have two intra-month spikes up to $50 at each of those moves, but that was like, thin air last few days. So really on an annual basis, you nailed it. I wasn't even aware of what you showed till we saw it. And it looks like an overlay of the gold chart the way you've done it there, which is accurate. And I think silver, if you do a ratio of silver to gold, go back 50 years and let's say every year plot the highest level that silver was in relation to gold during that year on a percentage basis. What percent is silver expressed as a per ounce of gold? Right now, silver is like 1.2 something plus 1.2%. But if you go back 50 years, the number of years in that 50-year period where we've been up to 2% or 3% is almost normal. It's not like an aberration. So good grief, if gold went to even just 8,000, another replica of its prior ratio moves, and silver were to go to 2%, you do the math. Wow, okay. So silver is definitely the one that we're focused on. Fast for participation. Yeah, gold's the mama market, but silver is the dynamics are far greater on a percentage basis. So silver starting to we plotted, like I discussed, the ratio of silver to gold price per ounce and what's percent of silver to gold. Rising above 1.2 right now, which is dirt cheap, by the way, historically. I mean, to have silver that cheap, we all know that. You get above 1.3, and there's a structure when you plot the chart of the silver gold ratio. You get much above 1.3, and you break out on that spread chart, which says, I'm going to launch. And I have this suspicion that maybe by the end of the month we'll be there. And that will be a signal that coincides with silver bursting out of this recent range. The high back in May was 32 plus, okay, dropped down to 29, and back up to 32 again in, I think it was July. Sold it again there, got to 32.70, but not 33. Okay, so if you're keeping a point and figure chart, you're doing your X's up to 32, down tick to 29, back up to 32, and then they whacked it again and went down almost to 26. So down ticks that took out the prior column low. So everybody said, oh my gosh, that's a top. No, it's not. You don't go back to a double top on point and figure. You're back there now. We're sitting at a triple top on a price point and figure chart. So a guy who's a simpleton point and figure guy doesn't look at anything else. He says, my goodness, we're sitting here at a triple top. Don't use the word top. It's a triple pending triple top breakout. You touch 33. And I think that next dollar is likely to ignite more interest and a vacuum effect. Our best guess is that, I think Patrick's right. We're going to 100, 200, something like that. And probably in a year or so. But I think the first gusher could take you up into the mid 50s to 60 so fast, like I'm talking a couple of months even. It's been done before in silver. If you go back and look at the action in 2010, 11, there was a gusher. Silver like doubled in a matter of several months. And back in 1980, same story. Now, those were tops once it was through. This time, it's not going to be the case. This time, it's just a quantum leap into a new reality. And I think ultimately will drive further. But right now, just on a short-term trading basis, don't be shocked if you see silver gush up into the mid 50s to even $60 area. Boom, like that. So that's our technical assessment. And right now, the action seems to be bearing it out.
As per Michael, the market is quietly building momentum this time, with the potential for a significant shift coming from a unique catalyst, highlighting silver's vital role, particularly in industrial uses. Silver's current position in the market is intriguing, especially when looking back at its historical trends. Unlike the buzz around the silver squeeze movement from previous years, there's no similar hype driving its price now. Yet silver is steadily holding around $32, suggesting something deeper is at play. One of the key drivers of silver demand is its use in solar panels, an industry that is booming thanks to global efforts to transition to renewable energy. Emerging markets in particular are seeing increased demand for solar power, and silver is a crucial component in photovoltaic cells. China is at the forefront of this production, dominating the global solar panel market, and it's reported that they're actively acquiring silver, even at prices above market value. Michael sees that this heightened demand from China signals that the supply of silver could tighten, creating the perfect conditions for a significant price surge.
I think there will be probably an event that's isolated the silver. There is one unique attribute of it above and beyond the monetary aspect, and that is its industrial use. And, when you were a very young and I was a young man, silver was industrial use, was photography. That's gone. Okay. Now, the solar panels, look globally, if 80, 90% of the photovoltaic cells and solar panels are being produced out of China. And I've read, and I don't keep up with the fundamentals that much, but in Latin America, the Chinese have really come into that market to gobble up the silver production. And I've even read that they're paying more for raw silver ore than they're paying the pure per ounce cost of silver. And because it's an essential ingredient in a photovoltaic cell. Its cost factor doesn't apparently impact the overall price of a solar panel. So in other words, if silver goes up, it doesn't discourage people from, consuming solar panels. But they're selling this stuff in Asia and in Africa. And if you think about it for a minute, these countries are emerging, into the modern world, and they don't have what we've all got, which is, power lines under the ground from a power generator down the road, and therefore a lot of these people use cell phones and so forth, but they got no power. And so the demand for solar power, in your backyard type thing is incredible. and it's growing globally. And China, and I've read statistics on it that it's, got every year it increases sharply in terms of industrial demand. Well, we all know the supply demand of silver is fairly tight. Nobody cares, right? Okay. But if all of a sudden this story suddenly gets amplified, in some way, some manner or form, where people suddenly become aware of this unique attribute of silver, which has, been around for a while, but nobody's been paying attention to it. Then you could have this squeeze effect, that's unique. That silver's got this unique thing above and beyond the fact that it's a monetary metal. And I could see silver go berserk at that point with that kind of headline, and of course all the doubters out there. And when you run a market letter research reports, you get emails from people, from our retail subscribers, not our institutional ones, but our retail subscribers. We quite often get, oh gosh, this silver's just behaving like heck. What do you think? What do you think? That kind of thing. And it's more negative sentiment than it's positive.
Gold and silver prices are poised for significant movements as economic conditions evolve. Gold, historically a safe haven during uncertainty, is being eyed by analysts who predict it could soar to $8,000 per ounce due to inflationary pressures and potential interest rate cuts. Similarly, silver shows strong potential for rapid growth, with some experts suggesting it could double in value, surpassing $100 per ounce in the next major bull run. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to support our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos. See you in the next video.